Butsinamanda, 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 Butsinamanda.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We will begin today's service with meditation, followed by Nembutsu. Please join me by placing your palms together in Gasho.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsinamanda Butsinamanda Butsinamanda.
Good morning again, everyone. My name is May Pablo. Thank you for joining us for today's Nirvana Day service. Before we begin, I would like to welcome some new guests we have with us today. We have Sai, Hairo, and Emi sitting over here. Thank you for being with us today. We are also honored to have Reverend Blaine Higa from the Kona Hongwanji Buddhist Temple as our guest speaker today, who submitted a video Dharma message to share with us. Nirvana Day, also known as Para-Nirvana Day, commemorates the passing of Shakyamuni Buddha, who attained complete nirvana at the age of 80 years old. We will now continue with the chanting of Sambujo, which is called Three Respectful Callings. It can be found on the inside cover of the service book. This will be followed by the aspiration of today's service by Reverend Shibata.
Liudom Jo San Gem The members of the Buddhist Church of Stockton are gathered today to observe the day in which Shakyamuni Buddha entered complete nirvana. Today and every day, let us remember the wisdom and compassion of Amida Buddha and the transiency of all life. In doing so, let us put our hands together with deepest gratitude as we call the name of the Buddha and recite the Nembutsu together. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Naman Dabuts, Naman Dabuts, Naman Dabuts, Naman Dabuts.
Please rise if it is comfortable for you to do so for the singing of the Gatha. Listen to his voice, verses 1 and 2. The Gatha can be found in the program or in the service book on page 178. This will be followed by the recitation of the three treasures, which is also in the program, or on page 2 of the service book.
Three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One, now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony and a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Naman Dabuts, Naman Dabuts, Naman Dabuts, Naman Dabuts.
We will continue with the chanting of Jusege, which is on the back of the program or starting on page 95 in the service book.
Kagon Chosegan Hishimu Jodom Shiga 政府上昇学科無料婚不意大接種不採ショッピング政府上昇学菓子の仏道妙正常寺本苦行未所門政府上昇学利欲人少年上映修本業しぐむ浄土一生天にし人力現代婚不償無才道少女三苦名交際集約難会議自衛権滅死顧問閉塞小悪道通達全宗門高僧上満足いよろじ本日月主十金天根無限一周解放像公正功徳音頂戴集中説法ししく供養一切仏具足習徳音金満徳意三害用両仏無下地通達未不詳願学営利投資最小損志願や交換大勢の感動国書天人当知妙見ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブ願にしぐ徳平等正 saim don modai ishin odyo an dako. Namanda Batsinamanda 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 Namanda Namanda.
We will now have incense offering by the following representatives. Dharma School student, Rainier Belts. Dharma School teacher, Mike Shibata. Sangha Club, Jules Belts. Young Buddhist Association, George Fuji. Young Adult Buddhist Association, Kathy Pokoroba. Adult Buddhist Association, Dolores Matsumura. Tomo no Kai, Wayne Mordosaki. Stockton Bukyo Taiko, Chris Kubo. Stockton Buddhist Women's Association, Candy Hayashi. Cortez Hoakai, Dan Kubo. Buddhist Church of Stockton, Debbie Nakade. We will now have a Dharma message by Reverend Shibata.
Okay, good morning, everybody. It's so great to see all of you today. And as Mimi had mentioned, today we are observing and commemorating the passing of the historical Shakyamuni Buddha, who lived in India more than 2,500 years ago. And so when we think about the Buddha, of course, we want to think about the Buddha's teachings and how the Buddha's teachings relate to our everyday lives. And so I wanted to kind of put a spin on that too and talk about something in my everyday life, which are cards and like greeting cards. So how many of you actually send greeting cards to your friends or your family members? Okay, so quite a few of you still do. And how many of you write thank you notes when you receive a gift or something from others? Okay, so a good portion of you do that too. And I know in the day and age of texting, it's easy to text people like, hey, thanks for the bouquet of flowers, or you can email them too. But I think for me actually, I still like writing and sending cards. I probably don't send greeting cards as much as I should to my friends and my family, but I try to send thank you cards, even though they might be a little bit late and tardy. I still try to do those. And so I wanted to share with you a few of the cards that I received within the last few years. And these have been on my shelf in my office. And they're just celebrating my birthday, or words of encouragement. Like this one is from my colleague and friend, Reverend Diana Thompson, and she sent me one with Pooh and Piglet. This was 2 years ago, as this was celebrating my 45th birthday. So I just gave away my age. And this is from Kay-san, my minister's assistant, and even one from my dad, a birthday card from my dad. So many of these I've kept, and they keep me company, and they're so beautifully set out on my bookshelf. And then this one is from the Stockton Buddhist Women's Association. I believe maybe my Uncle Mike made this one. It's so cute to celebrate. Was it the year of the tiger? How many years ago was that? For the zodiac sign. So there's so many different cards that I kept that have just really been near and dear to my heart. And so when I write my cards, of course, it's an expression of my love and my appreciation, celebrating an individual, thanking an individual, or even maybe expressing my condolences if they experienced a loss in their family. And even just, hey, how are you? I'm just checking in with you to see how you're doing, because it's been too long that we've actually been together. And so again, all of these that I receive and all of the ones that I send out are true expressions of our heart and our deep appreciation. And so when the Buddha was preparing, he knew that he was going to be passing away, and he told his disciples too, his expression of appreciation, but also reassuring them, hey, I gave you everything that you need. Because, of course, the disciples of the Buddha were very, very sad that he was going to be passing away. And they were wondering, well, what are we going to do when our great teacher is gone? And the Buddha reassured everybody and said, I gave you all that you need. So all of the teachings are with you. And so don't fret. Don't be sad that I'm going to be passing away, because this is a part of life. And so what we have, going to transition to what we do today as an expression of our thanks. We chant the sutras that are in here, including the major work, which is more like a hymn of our founder Shinran Shonin, called Shoshinge. And so when we chant together, these are the words of the Buddha. Shoshinge are the words of Shinran Shonin. And when we chant, we're even doing this expression, our deep expression of thank you and gratitude for the teachings that are in our lives. So it's kind of like when we're chanting, maybe it's like a voicemail that we're sending to our friends and our family members saying, hey, I appreciate all of these teachings in our lives, in my life. And of course, it's a way for us to hear and receive the teachings as well when we're chanting together. And so when I look at these cards and I read them over again, then it's kind of like, oh, it warms my heart over and over again to read the expressions that many folks have given to me. So again, when we're chanting the words of the Buddha, even though they're 2,500 years old, it is our way to be connected to the Buddhists of the past and currently and even in the future. And it really is a true expression of our deep gratitude for all that we are able to receive through the Buddha's teachings, and really be able to not only just concentrate on them here in the temple, but even outside in the temple in our everyday lives, because that's what we really want to do, is to have the Dharma in action in our everyday lives and being able to put our palms together in deep gratitude for all of the different connections that we have, all of the different conditions that allow us to sustain our lives, but to really understand these teachings every day, not just here in the temple when you're kind of forced to think about them, but really what we want you to do is to take those teachings out and think about them, and even through your greeting cards. So maybe this might encourage us to really think about the words that we do share with others, to make sure that they're kind and from our hearts, and that they're true, and that they aren't hurtful, but really express our words very truly and deeply, so that each and every one of the people that we encounter receive this deep appreciation from us as well, just like how we can express our deep appreciation each and every day when we chant the sutras and the words of Shinran Shonin. Okay, so thank you so much for attending this very special service and allowing me to share my thoughts and some of my cards with each and every one of you. Please join me in Gassho. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu.
Thank you, Reverend Shibata, for your Dharma message. I think that's very nice that you have record of all the kind things people have to say about you, because I know there's some times where it'd be nice to look back on it and remember how much people love you and think of you. Please stand if it is comfortable for you to do so for the Gatha, morning Gatha, verses 1 and 2, which is in the program or can be found in the service book on page 184. This will be followed by the recitation of our pledge our pledge followed by the Nembutsu. This can be found on the back cover of the service book.
Our pledge. Breaking out of my shell, I will share a warm smile and speak gentle words, just like the kind Buddha. Not becoming lost in my greed, anger, and ignorance, I shall think and act with an open mind, just like the calm and peaceful Buddha. Not putting myself first, I will share in the joy and sadness of others, just like the compassionate Buddha. Realizing the gift of life I have received, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest, like the Buddha who tirelessly works to liberate all. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda.
Okay, so it is announcements time. The first announcements that I have are Japanese Treasures and Boutique Sale. It's going to be Saturday, March 29 from 10 to 2. Donations are requested. Also, Temple Scholarship applications will be available in March. The church, home, and hospital visitation will be on April 5th. If you know someone that would appreciate a visit, please contact the office by March 15th. A variety of food items and small gifts will be given. These are for church members 90 plus years of age, residing in a care facility or recovering from an illness. Hanamatsuri First Buddhist service will be on May 18. Please see the Karma for more information. There will be beginner pickleball. This will be on February 23rd from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Cans and plastic bottles are now being collected by YBA. Please leave your recyclables in the white barrels by the mini chapel. And also, there's going to be an interfaith tea. This is hosted by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints on Side Road. This is going to take place Thursday, February 20th at 1 o'clock p.m. And I believe Debbie San has announcements.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's good to see all of you. I wanted to maybe remind you, we've talked about it in the past, that beginning this year, following our monthly special services that are not a potluck service, for example, today, we will now have a social hour over in the mini chapel. And either the board of directors, individuals from your church board, or the affiliated organizations will be providing refreshments. So we have something set up for today, and so please join us after service for a little socializing. The other thing I wanted to announce is that beginning next month, we're going to try something new, and we're going to call it Sangha Sports Sundays. And what we're going to be doing is opening up the gym after service on Sundays where the gym is not already in use, just so that people can get in there and move around. You can either, we'll open up, bring out the basketballs, we can bring out pickleball nets. So whatever you want to do, if you want to go in there and shoot around, it could be teens, it could be adults, it could be older adults, it could be little kids, whatever. And so we're just hoping to let people get in there, move around. Physical activity, we all know, is good for us, good for a healthier life. And in my Karma article, I said something about if you would like to maybe start doing things that help your mental agility, whether it be play cards, start up a mahjong table, whatever, we can do that too. So that starts in March, and I think we're going to probably try 3 Sundays in March. One Sunday is dedicated to Chris Kubo's Dharma Friends Taiko. And so that's 1 Sunday a month. And then I think the last Sunday will be the Japanese Treasures Boutique will be in the gym on Saturday, but we have to have cleanup on Sunday. So we're going to try that for the seniors who really don't want to shoot baskets or play pickleball. We were thinking you can walk the perimeter of the campus, get some steps in. And so, and I'm also hoping that maybe the teens can help the preteens with to learn, some basketball skills, pickleball skills, people can bring mitts, they can play catch out in the courtyard, whatever. So that's kind of what we're hoping to promote starting next month. So please support the church by coming out and participating in this activity and moving and getting yourself in the meantime. So thank you.
So I just wanted to thank you, Debbie, and I'm really excited for Sangha Sports, and I know it's Sangha Sports, but like Debbie said, whatever gets us together and doing activities, even if you want to just like bring your busy work, if you're teachers, if you want to do busy work just to ensure that you're doing your work. I might even have to bring some of my thank you cards and some of my work too, so I could write my Dharma messages. So even if you're just doing whatever you really enjoy doing, crafting, or like Debbie said, if you want to start playing cards, we can set up the reception room. So I'm really excited to bring us back together because I remember the days where I came every week to play basketball, and that was just a huge part of our lives. And the temple was a huge social opportunity for us to really spend time together. And truly, we've developed lifelong friendships with many of the girls that we played basketball with, and of course even the guys team too. So we're really hoping to bring that feeling back to the temple. So whatever you'd like to do, just please join us. I also wanted to elaborate a little bit more about Hatsumairi. So Hatsumairi is the first kind of introduction for infants and children. And so I believe, did we even have any last year? Babies last year? Maybe not. I think James was a little bit old already. So Hatsumairi, again, is an introduction for your young children. So whether or not they're newly born, even a year old, a couple of years old, if they didn't have an opportunity to do this service, this kind of introduces them as Buddhist followers or followers of the Buddhist teaching. And so they come up to the altar, they receive a little shikisho, manto shikisho, that indicates that they're a Buddhist of the congregation, and an onenju, and so we introduce them, and everybody gets to clap and see them. So there are forms that you can fill out for the parents who would like to participate, and they get a gift from me as well. So please, if you have any questions, let me know. Even if you're a little bit older than one, that's okay too. We just really want to ensure that we recognize the children as members of our Sangha or temple family, okay? But please, if you have any questions, please let me know, or you can also receive the registration form in the office. Okay, thank you.
Does anyone else have any more announcements? Okay. This will now conclude the first portion of our service. We would like to thank everyone for your attendance today. We will begin the Dharma message by Reverend Blaine Higa, following the Oshoko by the Dharma School students. At this time, Dharma School students up to middle school are dismissed to their classes. Please come forward to offer incense if you have not done so already. That was fast. Yeah.
Oh, yay. Did you have your friends sign your pass? Cute. Oh, good. Oh, yeah. Oh, cool.
Reverend Blaine Higa is the resident minister of the Kona Hongwanji Buddhist Temple. Born and raised in Hilo, he is a graduate of Waikea High School. Reverend Blaine holds a Master of Divinity from the Institute of Buddhist Studies in Berkeley, California, with a focus on Shin Buddhist ministry and chaplaincy. He has been a contributor to Tricycle, Lion's Roar, Buddha, Dharma, and Midweek, and is a frequent speaker and seminar leader at Buddhist communities in Hawaii and around the nation. Reverend Blaine received Tokudo ordination and Kyoshi certification from the Jodo Shinchu Honganji-ha in Kyoto, Japan. He is the chair of the Committee on Social Concerns and Ministerial Training Committee for the Honpa Honganji Mission of Hawaii. He previously served as Assistant Minister of Molili Honganji Buddhist Temple and Assistant Chaplain for the Pacific Academy. He is a past president of the Molili Honganji Board of Directors and former first vice president of the Honpa Honganji Mission of Hawaii. He was also a co-planner for the 2022 Future of American Buddhism Conference. Prior to entering ministry, he had careers in state government and the nonprofit sector for over 17 years. He holds a Master of Public Administration and a certificate in Urban and Regional Planning from the University of Hawaii at Manoa. He received a BA from Willamette University in Salem, Oregon. Committed to civic engagement, Reverend Blaine serves on the boards of the American Civil Liberties Union of Hawaii and Vibrant Hawaii. He is also a member of the advisory board of the Interfaith Alliance of Hawaii. You can learn more about his work at www.blainehiga.com.
Good morning and aloha. Thank you to my good friend, Reverend Shibata, for inviting me to share with you today. Please join me in Gasho for an opening reflection. The words of Shinran Shonin from the hymns of the Pure Land. The light dispels the darkness of ignorance. Thus, Amida is called Buddha of the light of wisdom. All the Buddhas and sages of the three vehicles together offer their praise. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Nammanda Butsu, Nammanda Butsu, Nammanda Butsu. The story of Shakyamuni Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and death reveals to us a spiritual journey of eternal becoming, in which we discover our true and real inner light. In his last moments, he encouraged his disciples to make my teachings your light. Rely upon them. Do not depend upon any other teaching. We continue to revere these words by reflecting on the infinite light and life of the Buddha and living with profound gratitude for the path of peace and spiritual liberation he shared with all of us. In our tradition, light is a symbol of wisdom, which dispels the darkness of ignorance. In our sacred scriptures, the Pure Land of Enlightenment is described as the land of immeasurable light and the land of all-knowing wisdom. Light and wisdom go hand in hand, and we need even more light and more wisdom in our world today as we face the creeping darkness of greed, anger, and ignorance, which threatens to consume us all. Shakyamuni Buddha lived an extraordinary yet mortal life and is said to have entered peacefully into perfect tranquility at the age of 80. Teaching until his last moment, his living and his dying were lessons illuminating the eternal truths found in the Dharma. According to Professor Takamoto Shigaraki, yet the teaching, or Dharma, that he expounded represents a universal principle that pervades the world, reaching all places and remaining valid in all periods of time. Accordingly, both his teachings and his life are praised as being eternal. Spatially, they extend out to guide all people and turn them toward an infinite future. This immortalization of Shakyamuni Buddha is a realization that his death was only the end of the physical body, because the true Buddha is enlightenment itself, and he would exist forever in the truth of the Dharma and in the practice of the Dharma. The Buddha is still teaching and lives on in the lives of all who practice the way of universal liberation he shared. The late Buddhist master Thich Nhat Hanh believed we teach by our way of life. We teach with our hands while we are doing things, with our feet while we are walking, with our mouth when we are eating or speaking, and with our eyes we are looking. This simply means teaching the Dharma by the way we live our daily life. This is what Shakyamuni Buddha taught us as he lay dying between the twin sala trees, that if we're to only see his physical body, we would not truly see him, but only by accepting and living his teachings, we would truly see him. In Shin Buddhism, we strive to live with the spirit of Jishin Kyo Ningshin, to secure our own entrusting heart to the Dharma, guiding others to the same path. This is the life of Nembutsu that was taught to us by Shinran Shonin. Our ordinary life is our place of practice, where we encounter our true self within the embrace of great wisdom and compassion. This is how Shinran continues to live on through us as we walk the path of spiritual freedom that he shared. The highest ideal of the Buddha's path is to embody the spirit of a bodhisattva, those enlightened beings who sacrifice their own enlightenment for the welfare of others. This is the fundamental aspiration for how we should live, not only for our sake, but for the sake of everyone, because true compassion is universal and inclusive. We often chant the sutra, Sambutsuge, or hymn in praise of Buddha, because it summarizes the aspiration of Dharmakara Bodhisattva to become Amida Buddha, to establish the Pure Land, and to work for the enlightenment of all beings, resolving to endure and never to falter until the goal of universal liberation is achieved. The dynamic and eternal life of the Buddha is found in the practice of the Dharma he shared. It is the light of boundless wisdom and compassion within each of us. As Shin Buddhist scholar Dr. Jeff Wilson writes, great compassion is all-embracing and takes on any form that helps. Thus, great compassion comes to us in the form of Namo Amida Butsu, and also in the form of those who teach the Dharma, those who give aid to the suffering, those who stand up for the marginalized, and many other wondrous forms. We are the living embodiment of great compassion in all that we do. I am so grateful for the countless bodhisattvas, these light bringers who by their example cultivate a culture of harmony and peace. They brighten our world through selfless acts of courage, kindness, and compassion, lifting up everyone around them, realizing that serving others is true leadership. I reflect on the life of a personal bodhisattva of mine, the late Reverend Yoshiaki Fujitani, a remarkable leader who lived with a heart of profound gratitude and aloha. From serving our country in the military intelligence service during World War II, to his career as a minister and his time as the 11th bishop of the Hompa Honganji mission of Hawaii, he expressed his gratitude through a fierce and unwavering compassion that cultivated a more peaceful and humane world. Among his many accomplishments, he is remembered for his lifelong commitment to interreligious dialogue and harmony. The Buddha's teaching on interdependence informed his worldview. He said, I think the only way is to get out into the community and to work with other faiths. I think that we have to bear that in mind. We are not alone. We are part of a larger community. Reverend Fujitani was an inspirational and consequential spiritual leader who was guided by the light of the Dharma. I continue to admire his commitment to interfaith dialogue and social justice, including his advocacy of LGBTQIA+ rights. He truly embodied the Buddha's teaching through compassionate action. His Dharma-centered leadership touched countless lives and left a lasting legacy for us all. He demonstrated what the Thai Buddhist writer and activist Sulak Sivaraksa believed is the way the Dharma can transform our world. He says, Buddhism enters the life of society through the presence of men and women who practice and demonstrate the way toward the ultimate goal of nirvana through their thought, speech, and actions. The presence of Buddhist adepts means the presence of wisdom, love, and peace. Reverend Fujitani lived with urgency and joyful purpose, understanding that in each moment of our lives, we are creating the conditions for the future. He dedicated his life to civic engagement, knowing that we have a responsibility to imagine and to build a brighter future for generations to come. Our country is in a time of crisis, and we need to reflect on our deepest values and strive to embody our highest ideals as a nation. Our collective future depends on each of us living our values and speaking truth to power. The Nisei soldiers fought and died for a country who denied their religious freedom and who unjustly imprisoned their families in concentration camps on the basis of their skin color and religious beliefs. Yet through it all, these bodhisattvas persevered without regret, liberating others and transforming our world. Sivaraksa writes on how the Buddha's teaching offers realistic hope for meaningful transformation and change in our society. He says Buddhism is simply a way of mindfulness and peace. The presence of Buddhism does not mean having lots of schools, hospitals, cultural institutions, and political parties run by Buddhists. Rather, the presence of Buddhism means that all these things are permeated and administered with humanism, love, tolerance, and enlightenment. These are characteristics that Buddhism attributes to opening up and developing the best aspects of human nature. This is the true spirit of Buddhism. Our goal is to develop human beings with enough strength and moral courage to begin restructuring the collective consciousness of society. Today, our country is at a crossroads, and we are doomed to repeat these same mistakes unless we heed the lessons of the past to stand against injustice, xenophobia, religious bigotry, and the weakening of our democracy. I've been reflecting on a verse I wrote during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic and in the aftermath of the killing of George Floyd by a white police officer. And I feel these words have new meaning in our world today. I woke up crying, Namo Amida Butsu, for all who are suffering. I woke up crying, Namo Amida Butsu, for myself. I woke up crying, Namo Amida Butsu, for the healing of our communities. I woke up crying, Namo Amida Butsu, because all I can do is entrust. Every day I wake up to the working of greed, anger, and ignorance in our world. Every day I wake up to the working of wisdom and compassion, which has turned my heart towards justice and love. Every day I wake up to Namo Amida Butsu. Every day I wake up ready to build the America that should be. Every day I wake up ready to try. We are far from perfect, but we can build a more perfect union every single day. This potential is the promise of America. May we always aspire to do better and to be better, just as we strive to embody the vows of a bodhisattva, cultivating a more harmonious, just, and equitable world for the sake of all beings. Journeying together on the path of Nembutsu, we live connected to the dynamic flow of the Dharma in our lives. On Nirvana Day, we reflect on the eternal light of Shakyamuni that lives on in the truth and in the practice of his profound teaching. We should always remember the lesson he shared with his disciple Mahakassapa as he was first introduced to the Dharma. He says, "Whatever teaching I hear that is conducive to something wholesome, I shall listen with an attentive ear, examining it, reflecting on it, absorbing it with all my heart." This is the dynamic path of spiritual liberation and transformation that we share as disciples of the Buddha. Let's continue to seek the wholesome together as we strive to bring light into our darkened world. Please join me in Gassho to recite the Nembutsu together. In trusting in the dynamic working of all-inclusive wisdom and all-embracing compassion, we call Amida's honored name with profound gratitude, abiding joy, and a heart-centered awareness for the miracle of living. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Thank you again. Mahalo.
So although Reverend Blaine couldn't join us all the way from Kona, he was so kind to send in his very powerful message. And so I hope that we all reflect upon his sharing as we venture out into the world and do, again, what we can in regards to this Bodhisattva path and being very guided by the Buddha Dharma in our everyday lives. So again, thank you, Reverend Blaine. However, see our service online. Thank you again for taking time out of your very busy schedule to be with us via video. Okay, so that'll conclude the second portion of this service. And as Debbie mentioned, we'll have a Sangha social, coffee social with a little bit more, I think, robust kind of snacking. So please join us in the mini chapel for food and fellowship. And we'll see you hopefully again next week. Thanks so much, everybody. Namandavats, 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 namandavats. And then if you didn't have an opportunity to do so beforehand, please come forward to offer incense at this time. Thank you.